What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
How are y'all today? I'm doing great. Today
I'm doing great.
It was a long day, but it was pretty good.
Hey, still pushing through. Sometimes you gotta push through, guys. Push through your struggles. But tonight we got a great episode for you guys.
Wait. Who are we?
Who are we? That's first. Let's get that. Let's take care of that. I'm Trent.
And I'm Victoria.
And you're watching TrueV1 TV.
Okay, so we just talked about who are we. Today, that's what we're really going to focus on. Who are you? What is your purpose? What are you here for? Do you know why God put you here? Are you just here to take up space? No.
So let's find out who we are and who you guys are.
So we're talking about purpose and who we are in Christ. So one of the first things you have to do is you have to realize that you're different. And it's gonna confuse you for a little bit because you're gonna see everybody doing what they want to do and they're succeeding and you're like,
where's mine at?
Wait a minute, what about me? Just to let you know, Trent is good with words, but I'm good with the word.
That's her.
This is what I do.
So
whenever I'm gonna tell you something, I'm not just gonna tell you what I like to think. I got receipts. So when I say you're different, in 1 Peter 2, verse 9 it says, "But you're not like that, for you are a chosen people. You are royal priests, a holy nations, God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." So that tells us that we're not going to be like everybody else. We're not going to be able to do the stuff they do because that's not how God created us. It's just not. Sometimes I'm like, well, Lord, why can't I do what Sarah is doing? But I'm not Sarah because he set me apart from the beginning.
Yeah, actually, I agree a lot with what you just said about we're separate a lot. Because I feel like God didn't make us the same because we all got different purposes. And when I say that, I mean, I wasn't put here to do what Vic's doing. I was put here to do what Trent's doing. So what's inside of me is what's for me. It's not for Vic. Hey, to say it's not for her, but God, it's almost like he picks and chooses what's for you. I can't sing like Vic, but I can pray. I can pray like no other. It's just God placed certain gifts in us to affect certain people. And wish that you had a different identity. I hate when that happens because you're perfect in your own way, and for to deny your perfection, well, I can't say perfection because we're all not perfect. I hate to say that, but to deny what God placed in you to claim something that doesn't belong to you is painful and is.
It's almost disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit disrespectful because God, when he made us perfect in his image. Of course we sin and we fall short, but he gave us such a great purpose and such great destiny, and to be like, Lord, I know you gave me this, but I want that. It's kind of like you didn't do your job, God. Exactly. And that's kind of rude.
It's real rude. God probably like, man, what I done for you? And sometimes we see the image, but we don't see the pain behind somebody's situation. So-and-so may have the biggest car, the biggest house, but at the same time, they got the biggest problems going behind the scenes, and we wish for that, but we don't realize the pain that they're going through. So before you wish on something, thank God for what you already have, because so-and-so may not have a happy family, but you have that. They may have a big car, but at the end of the day, they may not have the finances to support that car, but you have the financial, to support your family.
Yeah. Like, a lot of times we look at other people's lives and their purposes and what they're doing, but we see the highlight reel. We don't see the nights they cry. We don't see the nights they are upset and stressing. All we see is what they show us. Like Instagram. When I take a selfie, I take like 15 of them before I actually pick one to put up. So that's what people do. They pick and choose what they want to show you of their life. So they show you the good stuff. They're not going to show you the bad stuff. They're going to show you all of the good stuff. And you're sitting over here wishing you had their life when God has given you something so great in your own life.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought up that whole little Instagram thing, because we often, like, when we upload pictures, there's like 10,000 filters. So I want to ask you guys a question, and I guess you can comment with your answer below, but it might be deep, it might not. I'm just going to test myself. But do you filter your faith? And when I say that, do you cover it up with something that makes your faith look better than what it is, or you try to hide your imperfections? Because, like I said, we're all made in God's image, but at the end of the day, we're all going to have these different dents and bruises inside of us. But do you choose to let them show, or do you hide them? Why and why not? So comment below and let me know your answers.
Who can I answer?
Go ahead, answer it, yeah.
That's a really good question, because a lot of times we are strong in certain areas of our faith, but we're weak in others. And instead of showing the imperfections, we try and put on this facade, and that does more harm than good, because I found that my testimony is more powerful when I talk about the stuff that I've gone through and when I talk about the stuff that I've struggled with, because it allows people to connect with that, because it's like, okay, you go through stuff too. You're not all the way up here. You have your issues and flaws too. So filtering your faith That's a good one.
That's a good one. Like that, my God. Go ahead.
Good.
Copyright me on that one, so let me know if you use that. Go ahead and claim that the true value. But I love what you just said about that, Vic. One thing I find myself doing a lot is asking God why. But his answer is always because. When I say that, I mean he puts you through certain things not to harm you, but to build you up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To build you up and build your faith so that you can take your story and help somebody else, because Vic's story may have helped me, but she maybe went through so much and she's like, okay, God, why? And God's saying, because you're gonna help Trent. So I'm saying that because when you say why, God's saying because. It's because to pull somebody else out and pull you out too and make you better so you can inspire somebody else. So next time you say why, just say because.
One of my favorite Bible verses, I have a lot of them, but one of my favorites is Jeremiah 29:11. And in the Message translation, it basically says, I know what I'm doing. I have it all figured out. Plans to prosper you, to give you a hope, and to give you the future that is designed for you. And Romans 8:28 is, again, one of my favorite scriptures. But it says, and we know that God uses everything to work together for the good of them who love God and who are called according to his purpose. You're called, you're set apart. So that means there are going to be some things that you go through that are not going to be the best. There are going to be some things that are going to hurt, and you're going to be like, Lord, why is this happening? Like he said, why? But God has a plan, and we don't always see his plan. We see bits and pieces, but he has this entire masterpiece set aside for us. And if we would just trust him to know that he set us apart even before you got here. Jeremiah 1:5 says, while you were still in your mother's womb.
In the womb.
I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you a prophet to my nations. O sovereign Lord, I said, I can't speak for you. I'm too young. The Lord replied, said, don't say I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you. And don't be afraid of the people, for I will be with you, and I will protect you. I, the Lord, have spoken. So God, before we even got here, he had a plan for us. Like, we weren't even here. We weren't even a thought in our parents' mind, and he had something set aside for us. And he has called us, and he's given us all separate assignments. And it's up to us to trust him enough to know that, God, if you've given me this, you're going to put everything in me that I need to be able to do it. You don't have to worry about who's going to listen, who's going to say what, who's going to be with you, who's not going to be with you. Because if God ordained it, it's going to happen. This whole YouTube channel right here, this is a faith walk. Because when I tell you, we both have had our running moments where it's like, God,
always.
I know you said this, but
this is what I'm gonna do. But God said, no.
You're gonna do this
for me. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a faith walk, and you have to know that he didn't just put you on this earth just to take up space. Because I'm cute and all, but I know that God has other stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's up to me to do that, because there are honestly people waiting on your testimony and waiting on your yes, and waiting for you to accept what God has called you to be. And when you do that, he blesses you. He really does.
And I'm gonna say this. I mean, it might be our last comment. Are we getting close?
I think we're
getting close. So I want to keep you guys up night. Even though you can't see it, believe it. Even though you can't see what God has for you, believe it. Even though you can't see your purpose, believe it. Because that belief turns to actuality, becomes reality, and it becomes true. So you got to keep believing, like, yes, I'll be the next best thing, or yes, God's going to bring me this, or he's going to bring me that. Because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. It's not. So it's all about claiming your victory, even in the midst of defeat.
But you're not defeated.
Not defeated.
You've already won. You've already won.
The trumpets are sound.
Thanks be unto God who gives us the victory and causes us to triumph. God has already given us the victory. So all you have to do is trust him and walk into it.
With the receipt book.
With the receipt book. So guys, we thank you for watching us today, and we want you to leave your comments in the bottom, and subscribe, like, and just connect with us.
Yeah. That's it.
This has been True Value TV. We'll see you later.
Woo!